that all come about then? Doing the crochet with everybody?
So basically, I traveled to Trinidad and Tobago last year. My grandma was really, really ill. And I've always been looking for something that we can do. And I thought there were so many lost arts, so much lost, savoir-faire from the Caribbean, because we did so much in terms of craft, but it always was seen as sort of like souvenirs, because obviously we were too essential.
Yeah, it's carnival, like that's the thing. Yeah.
And so when I went there, I saw these women who were doing such intricate, amazing artistry in terms of crochet, and I just thought the world needs to see this. Unfortunately, there aren't that many brands from Trinidad and Tobago that get the opportunity to show on the world stage. Somebody told me 2 weeks ago, they asked why me, and I went, I actually can't answer that question. And so I continue to work with intention and an understanding that I am one of many, but also one of a few that actually get a chance to show at London Fashion Week on the official schedule. It's not an easy thing to do, but certainly I know who I represent. This year marks the 75th anniversary of Windrush. It also marks the 20th anniversary of the Museum of London, which is celebrating an Indo-Caribbean exhibition for the first time ever in the UK right now. On my mom's side, I'm East Indian, and on my dad's side, I'm obviously sort of Afro, Spanish, Chinese as well. And I represent this diversity, but I show up as this black guy, and a lot of people don't know that. And I think that's what's beautiful about the Caribbean. We're all intermixed. Everybody has something in them that's different, and that is what makes them uniquely dope, amazing, incredible, fantastic, and beyond just beautiful, like as you can see. So in essence,
Chinese.
But genuinely, it's us, and as we say in the Caribbean, it's we. And so I'm grateful that I get to do this, but I know what it means. I know what it means for young boys and young girls sitting in the islands thinking they too can one day be a designer. I am by no means some big designer or anything like that. Maybe I might be one day, maybe I might not, but you know what? I get to try. I get to do, and for that I am eternally, as you can see my pose is raising, I'm eternally grateful. I'm actually really grateful.
And how did you get into this whole world in the first place?
It's so funny because I actually went to school for accounting and finance, and I minored in art a little bit, but I've always been interested in fashion. I remember being 7 years old, and I used to create little villages, literally, with toothpicks and toilet paper. And I would put the women in dresses and I'll dress the men in my head, because I lived in my head a lot as a kid. And my mom would always be like, what are you doing? I'm designing a dress, I'm designing a trouser for this guy, and he's going to marry that person. And so it's a beautiful thing to get to dream as a kid. But now, when I started working in accounting, I started shadow writing for John Simon Daly in New York, and then Esquire. And it just I went to the 10th once. My first show was Narciso Rodriguez, and that was it. That was it. I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. The energy I felt. And now, doing this now, when I realize how many people come to support just because they love what we love.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, sorry, like I kid you not.
I wish I could show you. I feel it.
It's incredible. And so that's how I got into it. I started writing about shows, doing show reviews in New York.
Yeah.
And then I moved to the UK many years ago, a couple of years ago really. And then they said, work with brands. So I've been working with Caribbean brands, African brands for a long time, shadow designing behind, helping with strategy. And then last year I realized I'm getting older. But not that I'm getting older. Every time I try to do something for another brand, it's their vision, and I bow to their vision, happily so, because I love to support everybody. But I realized there's more to me than all what I've been giving, so I said, let me take a chance on Geoff, and so here we go.
Here we go. And one last question, so how do you want someone who's wearing Sagaboi to feel when they have your clothes on their back?
Fresh off the boat. Literally. And when I say fresh, I mean fresh to death. Like, you are the baddest, most beautiful, most amazing, boldly, incredibly awesome person in the world. That's how I want you to feel. That's why I have so many textures, I have so much color. I mean, I overdid it, if I'm honest with you. But people need to feel energy. And I think clothes, when I put clothes on, I can tell you something, I just feel like, oh, is that you? That's not the person that woke up this morning and looked in the mirror. And so I want people to have confidence in themselves and know that they too matter, and they are amazing and incredible, and they deserve incredible clothes. Sagaboi.
There you go.